We live in an era in which attention spans are so short and productive time management is so rare. Believe it or not, in this week's Parashat Shoftim, we find guidance on how to reduce the stress that stems from the many things dancing in our heads concomitantly. The Torah describes 3 justifications which would excuse a Jewish soldier from having to go to war. Anyone who A, built a house but had yet to move in, B, planted an orchard but had yet to enjoy its produce, or C, recently married but had yet to consummate the relationship. Any one of these 3 was demobilized with any further discussion. Now, although seemingly a simple set of protocols defining the system of military conscription, the Talmud in Tractate Sotah teaches us an interesting life lesson from the order in which the Torah listed the ways to avoid being drafted. The Torah is teaching us, says the Gemara, normative behavior. You first build a house, arrange habitation, then plant a vineyard, find employment. Once these 2 are sorted, then get married. The Rabbi creatively interpreted this Talmud teaching further, that it teaches us the best way to structure our day-to-day schedule as well. You see, building a house refers to prayer. As it states, Ki beiti bet tefillah. My house, the temple, is a house of prayer. Planting a vineyard, says the Rabbi, is referring to Torah study, because the 4 parts of Torah are called an orchard in Hebrew, pardes, which is an acronym of Pshat, Remez, Drush, Sod. And while marrying a wife, says the Rabbi, it's analogous to the pursuit of marital concerns. The Talmud will refer to a married man as rechaim betzavaro, someone who has to grind the mill and earn an income. Thus, the Torah is teaching us the best way to live our lives is that the first things we need to do when we wake up in the morning is prayer. Then we spend some time learning Torah. And once we've fulfilled our spiritual responsibilities, then we head off to work. So back to the point we began with. The reason so many of us are finding it hard to be mindful and productive nowadays is because our days are relatively unstructured. As a previous Chabad Rabbi writes, there is a concept called success in time. What does this mean? We cannot add actual time to the length of the day or night, but within the unalterable constraints of time, we can make the fullest use of it and utilize it to its maximum. So wake up in the morning and pray, address your needs and give your gratitude to God. Those few moments of prayer will wake up your responsibilities and transform the rest of the day. Following your morning interlude of connection with the divine, set aside a bit of time for Torah, because Torah study sharpens our mind and develops our character. It freshens up our thought process and keeps us mentally refreshed. Following our prayer and some learning, now we'll be switched on to work properly and we can feel confident about earning an honest living and using the rest of our time to its fullest. Try it. It works. This 3-part structure can transform your life for the better in a way you could never imagine. Shabbat Shalom.